Do you want to know the secret formula to have more energy and more engagement in your webinars? A lot of people have asked me this question. Why are my webinars so energetic and engaging? And in this video, I want to be breaking it down to the 10 secrets that have actually helped me create more stickiness in my webinar. People stay till the end and people find it very refreshing when they finish my webinar and they leave. So let's get in and let me decode the 10 things that have actually helped me.
Give it up for Siddharth.
Hey there, Siddharth Rajshekhar here. Welcome to this particular video where I'm going to be decoding the whole aspect of how to have more energy and how to really create your webinars in such a way that people are engaged. Okay, so energy all comes from within, and sometimes what we end up doing is we just go in for the webinar and we just go and just share knowledge just for the sake of sharing. But actually, energy is everything. I learned this from one of my mentors, Blair Singer. He says that energy is everything. Energy is what can really help you connect with an audience, to generate sales, to really help people take action and to give information the most effective way. Look at some of the biggest YouTubers. I mean, they're the ones who are like high energy. They're able to really come out in a very engaging way that can connect with an audience. So when it comes to webinars, there are 10 things that I can think of. So please take notes. The first thing I can think of is your diet. Like, what are you eating and what are you putting into your body even before you go to your webinar? I mean, I would never eat a full-fledged meal before I get into a webinar, because I've done this in the past and I've noticed my own energy going down. Okay, so I would recommend that you eat healthy, you eat the right kind of stuff. Don't overload yourself with with a lot of food before you get into the webinar. This will have a direct impact in your energy levels during the webinar. Many people miss out this point, but it's a very important point to keep in mind. Okay, the second thing is, I want you to, if you set an intention before the webinar, your webinar will be able to be so much more engaging. So for example, like a minute before I start my webinar, I just close my eyes and I set the intention. I put the intention out saying that, these people are going to be blown away by my information. They're going to get so much of value. They're going to, feel that they've spent their time in the best possible way. And then I just anchor that in and I just snap my finger like 3-4 times and feel those emotions. And then I get into the webinar. So this is a way, it's a technique in neuro-linguistic programming where you can actually, anchor yourself to a moment from your past where you've really succeeded and you've had some, where you've really impacted a lot of people. You absorb that same energy into yourself and then you go and do your webinar. Try this out next time, okay, in your webinar. Setting an intention before you do your webinar is extremely powerful. The other thing is, if you want a webinar to be really energetic and for you to also be able to go at a fast momentum, you also have to have a structure in the webinar. It's not as simple as just going on and on. Like if you look at my webinar, I use mind maps, and the mind maps actually help me know exactly when I should move to the next topic. In fact, at the back of my mind, I know exactly at what minute I should say what thing. Okay, or like my intro piece is usually for 15 minutes and I try my best to finish it within that 15 minutes. In case it goes to 20 minutes, I will know. So I'm always looking even at the clock and timer if my different segments or the different structure of my webinar are on track, because energy also comes when you are clear about what you're going to be doing. Okay, so I have a 15-minute segment. Next 15 minutes, what am I going to say? Next 15 minutes, what I'm going to say? Next 15 minutes, what I'm going to say? How am I going to be introducing my products? How am I going to be selling my products? Everything has a structure and a framework. And even within the framework, there is a framework. Like what are the things that I should say to make it very powerful and effective? Because I've done a lot of webinars and I understand that each segment has to have the right kind of energy. Okay. The other thing is use Suggestology. You can go and do a look up on this. Suggestology is where you can get a lot of responses from your audience. So I use Suggestology in the form of comments. Like I ask people to actually type in the comment box different kinds of words. If they're there for the first time, I would ask them to type FT. I would ask them to type BIO, bring it on. I would ask them to type game on, ready to learn. There are so many different words that I use. So when you're able to use Suggestology and ask for responses every 3 to 4 minutes, that way you can keep the energy very high inside your webinar. Otherwise, people will get zoned out. They'll be looking at their phones and WhatsApp, and they can be doing multiple other things. So you're got to keep drawing them back into the webinar using Suggestology. The other thing is you better know your stuff. Okay, See, those people who are really knowledgeable in their topic and who know their stuff will end up having more energy in their webinars, as compared to those who are still unsure about the topic and they're just being like a parrot. It's probably not experiential knowledge, they're just learning something and sharing something. It won't have an impact. Okay, so know your stuff. This really helps in the energy and engagement in your webinar. One thing I do a lot is I drink lots of water. In fact, I have my water bottle right next to me all the time. And let me just drink some water right now. Okay, every few minutes I take a sip of water. Okay, I love water. And I like to down in at least 3 liters of water every single day. And you know what? Water has some magical properties. You can actually set in an intention into water, and because water is a magical substance, it is like it's what we are made of. Actually, 80% of our body is made of water. So if you can chant whatever mantra you want, set some intention, do some prayer, and just look at water and say it and drink it, you know what? There'll be an impact on that. There's been an experiment that has been done on this by Dr. Emoto. You can go and do a research on this later on, and when they talk about the magical properties of water. So when you're doing a webinar, usually when I'm doing a webinar, when I'm playing a video, I'm drinking water. Okay, when I share some case study, I'm drinking water, and I set the intention into water so that I can keep my energy level very, very high. So try this out. Again, it's a tip that you have to experiment for yourself to see how this works. Okay, if you want high energy in your webinar, you got to love your topic. It's not just about knowing your stuff, but you got to love what you do. Like for example, in my webinar, I have this digital coach blueprint, which I actually give in my webinar. This is my digital coach blueprint framework. And I love every single piece of this blueprint over here. Whenever I'm explaining this, I just love it. I love the topic so much. And that transfer of love for the topic, transfer of love for the idea that I'm going to be sharing, that really helps connect to the audience, and that's what creates energy. That's what creates an energy exchange, and people they actually feel your energy and they feel like absorbing that knowledge. Okay, the other thing is you got to have love for people. You got to be a people lover. People lover is you need to really genuinely care for success of people, and you can clearly see through this. There are some people who do webinars where from the time that they start, they're only out there to sell their product. That you can feel it. There are some people where it just comes through in their videos. The connection is instant, the rapport is instant, because from when they speak itself that they genuinely want to serve people. They genuinely want to help people. They have love for people. So this is something which cannot be scripted. It is something that you are or you're not. And if you're not, you have to work on yourself. Okay, you got to really genuinely care and love for people, because ultimately business is all about engaging and interacting with people. Okay. Other thing is over-delivering value. There's no shortcut to this. If somebody has come in for your webinar, they're coming for free. Over-deliver value. That will actually increase your energy levels. Over-deliver value in terms of the knowledge, in terms of the ideas that you're going to be sharing. Don't hold anything back. If you come to my webinar, I show you all everything. I share my entire system which is there. So don't really hold anything back. Go full on, go with full energy, love your topic, and over deliver value, and people on the other side, they'll be able to feel that, and that's what will create a high engagement webinar. And last but not the least is there's no replacement for this. Practice. Okay, I can even write this like 1,000 times. Like I've done more than 700 webinars at this point of time as we speak. And I'm a super duper introvert, and I never knew that I would be good in doing webinars. But the more and more I did it, it's like exercising a muscle in the gym. I got better and better and better and better. And now if you wake me up at 3 a.m. in the morning and ask me, Sid, start your webinar, I will do it. I know exactly what to say, when to say, how to say it. And it's like a structure on my main webinar, which is a digital coach blueprint. But even if it's going to be a webinar, like now, sometimes I don't even prepare for webinars. Like just maybe 3 minutes before my weekly inner circle call, I just think, okay, these are the 3-4 concepts I need to share. And boom, I get into it. And I know exactly how to bring it all out. See, once you've done enough, once you've practiced enough, you'll be able to draw the energy out of the crowd who are watching you live, and you'll be able to also give that energy back to them based on what they need. Because sometimes I do webinars where I go completely unscripted. I ask the audience what they want and I give it back to them. Now, this requires a different level of skill and practice and mastery for you to be able to do this. Mastery in your topic, mastery in your knowledge, and mastery even in terms of execution through webinar, like looking into the camera, speaking, running polls, pulling things up, asking people to share in the comment box, creating exercises on the fly, asking them questions that are pertaining to the topic. Now, all of these things you can do on the fly. Okay. Sometimes, when it comes to my sales webinar, I always have a structure. When it comes to these kind of community-based nurturing webinars, sometimes I go even without a structure and I pull the energy from them and give it back to them. Interesting, right? So these are the 10 things that you can do. Yeah. If you've been thinking about the question, what is the secret formula to be more energetic and engaging while conducting webinars? This is the answer. Okay. 10 points here. So what I would like you to do is based on these 10 points, let me recap the 10 points. I'm going to reveal all the 10 points right now. Just tell me which are your top 3 points that you're going to be working on for yourself. Okay. And I want you to share that in the comment box. Number 1 is diet. 2 is setting an intention. 3 is having a structure for your webinar. Using Suggestology. Knowing your stuff. Drinking lots of water. Loving your topic. Loving people. Over-delivering value, and finally practice. Now, out of these 10 topics, which are your top 3? I would like you to share in the comment box. I'm going to be personally reading your comments, and let's see if you are going to be stepping into the next journey of you doing webinars in a more energetic and engaging way than ever before. Siddharth Rachak here. I'm going to be signing off. Before I sign off, please do a couple of things. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit that bell button to stay notified on my future updates that are coming. Point number 1. 2, if you're watching this on Facebook, please tag some friend or family member of yours who you know can benefit from this information, who are knowledge givers and educators and experts. Please tag them. And the other thing which I would like you to do is you can go to this link, sids.co/formula. Okay, if you want to be a part of my community, go to sids.co/formula. Watch this 45 minutes video. It is not a webinar. It's a pre-recorded video, but you can actually learn how I've structured my webinar. This is not my 90 minutes webinar. It's a 45 minutes synopsis version of it. Go and check it out for yourself and observe if I have included all these 10 points. Okay. All the best and looking forward to serving you in my future videos. Bye-bye.